Good morning. I think we're going to wait a couple more minutes for everyone to kind of start coming in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are right now. It's currently 9 a.m. here in Minnesota. And yeah, we just wanted to chat with you guys about some last minute pre arrival information. So I'm just going to wait like a minute or two and then we can officially start. How's everyone doing, MGAs?
Pretty
Good. How about
good.
you?
Yeah.
It's a nice morning. It's nice outside.
It is really nice outside today. Did it rain last night?
It feels like it, but I
It
didn't
feels
hear
like
it.
it rained, no?
Yeah, because my car was kind of wet, so.
Yeah,
Same.
same. I thought it rained. Um, are we just gonna awkwardly look at each other?
Well, we have a little over 100 students. That's pretty nice turnout.
Alrighty. Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is PJ. I'm the International Recruitment Graduate Assistant here at the KIC. I'm here with some really lovely people today, all of our MGAs and our other GA, Olivia. I'm just going to give them the platform to introduce themselves really quickly, and then we can move on to the agenda for the day. Whoever wants to go first, maybe managed group.
Sure. So I'm Majd. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I'm going to be a senior this semester, and I'm studying criminal justice.
Hi, my name is Amal and I'm from Uzbekistan, and this is my second year at the university studying cognitive science.
Hi, my name is Bethel. I'm from Ethiopia and I'm a biology major, and this is my second year at MSU.
Hi, good morning. My name is TJ. I am from Cameroon and I'm studying computer engineering for my second year now.
Hello guys. My name is Ibrahima. I'm Ibrahim Adam. I am from the Gambia, and I'm in my junior year, third year actually. So, yeah, and I'm studying biomedical sciences.
Yeah. Uh, I can go next. Hi, my name is Rohit, and I'm a psychology major currently in my senior year, and I'm from India.
My name is Marwa. I'm from Somalia, and I'm freshman in computer science.
Olivia.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm one of the GAs here at the Kearney International Student Center.
Perfect. So today we're going to go over some last minute pre-arrival information. So we're going to start talking about some housing information, so on campus, off campus. We're going to talk about registered student organizations, Customs and Border Patrol, traveling to Mankato, summer and winter essentials that we do want you guys to bring. And then we're going to end it off with some Q&A if you guys have any Q&A. Although I am curious where everyone who's watching it is from. So if you guys wanted to put that in the chat and engage, that's pretty cool too. So I think we can start off with the first session for housing. I'll give the floor to Majd. I'm going to hide everyone else from the stage so you guys can do that.
Okay, hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about your housing options at the university and what kind of options you have and how to reserve it. So let's start.
Thank you, Amal. So we have plenty of options when it comes to housing at MSU. We have off-campus and on-campus options. So I'm going to start with the on-campus options. We have around 4 to 5 dormitory residence halls. We have McElroy, Crawford, Prescott, and Julius Sears. And when we go to off campus, we have Stadium Heights, and the buses are accessible over here. So whether you're on campus or off campus, it's gonna be very accessible to come and go from USU. Um, for the dining and meal plans, we have 3 dining meal plans, and those are 160 meal plans, 14 a week, and the unlimited ones. You can check more on our official website at www.mnsu.com.
You want to talk about on campus?
Yes. So for off-campus housing, we actually have different options. We have different apartment complex around campus where most students actually live in. I mean, not most students, but not most students living off campus live in. We have, for example, Summit, the Grove, Quads, and Highlands. I can provide a link in the chat later. We have all those different options that are available for students and that are close to campus, so students don't have to worry too much about it. And you wanna add something, Brian?
Yeah. I specifically live at Summit, so I know a little bit a lot about Summit. So it's one of the off-campus apartments. So yeah, it's a nice place to live. It's like they have two versions. They have the Summit and Jacob Heights. So usually, like you just get your, you have to choose. Like the other one is like an apartment if you want a single apartment on your own. Yeah, you can live in Jacob Heights, but like Summit usually like shared apartment. You also have like 2 bedroom apartments. Um, where you'll have your own bathroom and then yeah your own room. So yeah, and then you have 4 bedroom apartment with 2 bathroom. So it's pretty cool. So if you have any more questions on that, I can help answer that as well.
Yeah. And some links for the off-campus apartment complex have been provided in the chat. So if you wanna kind of look at it, and from back home you could also apply and see if your wish is to stay off campus. We have a link provided here that you can go and check out. Yeah.
There's also a Map Life app on your phone where you can find yourself roommate before your arrival. So that's the thing to look out for because you can find someone who is searching for a roommate and want to live with you at any housing facility off or on campus. So we're also going to give you some tips for moving in. Wanna start?
Yeah, so some tips for moving. First of all, seek help from staff because usually we have on campus we have staff around helping students to move in, and
Yeah, bring only necessities and decorations because you're gonna buy a lot of stuff from here. So I think it's just better to just bring the stuff that you need right now and then just like buy things as you go on. Yeah.
I would say you should become friends with your roommates because this is a whole experience for you and for your first year studying in outside of your country. There was also a question: can an off-campus living student have a meal plan? Yes, you can. You should talk to Res Life, and they can give you some options.
Oh, and also about that, if you want to know about the meal plan options that you have on off campus, you should just search off campus meal plans at MNSU and then it'll pop up. So, yeah.
Okay, so the next tip.
You want to
Um,
go get that?
okay,
thing?
yeah, and also yeah, you can use the help of your RSOs, country RSOs, like friend from the same country. Like there are a lot of other students that are the same country from you, so they can usually help. Also, like most of us here, like who are here, might have cars. So if you're moving out and you seem to know like your friends from your same country or your RSOs, they can help also.
And then the last tip, it's necessary to assign your expected arrival time. So there's always staff expecting you at your place if that's on campus housing. They will help you settle, bring your stuff, and show around.
Yeah. And also try to read more, like learn about the learning communities that are at MSU because they're going to be really helpful going on with the socializing and even just getting information and everything. So I would say really look into that when it comes to, being involved on campus.
Okay.
Any questions, you guys?
Yep. We are at a Q&A.
Yes, I also wanted to say something really quick about the question that's are asked a lot about the main difference between on-campus and off-campus employment. Um, Not employment, sorry, housing. Um, On-campus housing, when you live on campus, you have more resources around you. For example, you have your roommate, your CA, all the staff, and other resources that the campus provides just around you. Things that you don't necessarily have off campus. For example, you don't have this proximity to the resources on campus, but you can still benefit from that if you come on campus, but it's not that close. And but off campus, you have I will not say that, but maybe more freedom in the sense that you have like some kind of your own space and facilities provided by your apartment complex. And the main difference is on the resources because they're basically the same. Just the proximity, like the resources that the campus provides, are not the same.
Yeah, speaking from experience, I would definitely advise a new international student to be on campus because of the getting to know how the whole university college thing works, especially being new in a new country. I would say getting a close proximity to all the supports and like resources there are. And yeah.
And make sure to read the policies for living on campus because there are a lot of things to look out for. For example, don't bring your candles. That's for safety reasons. Anything else? Yeah.
Also, like if you live off campus, there are also buses. I think one of us has mentioned it before. There are buses running around all the time, so you don't have to worry much about transportation. I know it's gonna be a little bit harder. Like you have to wait the specific time that the bus leaves and arrives. So that's the only thing. Like you don't have to go anytime you want, but then like I said, time specificity is not that long. Like Summit, it's like 20 minutes. The bus comes every 20 minutes, so that's not a lot of time. So yeah, the buses run around all the time from school to this apartment. So yeah, if you
Question.
Mhm.
Do students pay for the bus every time they get on the bus?
No. No, it's completely free. You just have to show your math card that you're an MSU student, and it's going to be completely free. Yeah.
What's a math card?
The math card is a sort of ID that show that you're a student here at MSU. So that's a sort of ID. I can show you that right now. Um, this is a math card. It's a kind of ID that show that I'm a student here at MSU.
Yeah, and you can upload your math card photo on the website, or you can come here, take the picture, and just take your math card on the go. But it would be much smoother and quicker if you just upload your photo and then just take the math card as you get here.
To upload your picture, look out for the email that says upload your picture for your math card. It will be sent soon.
Yeah. Any questions?
Any questions, you guys? We're here.
So, no.
So I wanted to just go back on the YouTube comment that we got, like the question on YouTube that we got about the payment plans for on-campus housing. I know Bethel and Amal, you guys have lived on campus. Can you talk more about how the payment was like for you?
So you pay for the entire year, and it varies from 6,000 to 8,000 depending on the type of room you have. So there are a lot of rooms. It can be renovated single, renovated double. It can be semi-suite for one person or for two persons. It also can be a standard room, and you can see all of the options and the plan of the building, like the room, on our website. That kind of will give you some understanding about how your room will look like and how much space you will have.
Yeah, on top of that, I wanted to mention on how many affordable choices there are when living on campus at MNSU. So there are triple rooms, there are renovated rooms, there are basic rooms, and I want to say if you're staying on budget, I'd probably suggest that you go to the basic rooms because they cost less, and the triple ones as well. So it just pretty depends on your budget and what you want to have when it comes to your dorms, but it can range from as I said, to basic to semi-sweet. That's at Presca. So yeah, I'd really say just see what you want, do your research on the housing. They're pretty accessible to get on the website as well. So yeah.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the off-campus payment. So for like Summit Well Leave, so it's usually you pay monthly. It's not like you're gonna pay the entire year. If you want, you can do that, but like you usually sign a contract of 1 year or per semester. But at the end, you can just pay monthly, and then yeah, that's how it works at Summit.
I think also with living off campus, you have to be more careful with your payments because you are responsible for making that payment every month. If you do not pay it on time, you do get late fees added to your account. A lot of off campus housing, you also have extra utilities that you might have to pay for that you have to sign up for separately as well. So, just being careful about that when you're signing your lease, when you're moving in, seeing what utilities you have to pay for separately. If you're going to live with roommates, maybe sharing and delegating that task and having them sign up for something and you can sign up for something else. But I feel like when you live off campus, you definitely have to be more responsible about how you're budgeting every month. So,
Some things that I want to add when it comes to off-campus apartments is that the more popular ones are Summit and Highlands. Highlands is a little bit closer to campus than Summit, but when it comes to Highlands, even though the rent is a little bit cheaper than the Summit, it's not really furnished or anything. So I would suggest deciding what you want to do before choosing which apartment that you're going to get into. On contrast to Summit, it's already furnished. You don't really need any furniture to move into your room, but the rent can be a little more higher than the Highlands. So I'd say just pretty much do your research before deciding on what you want to do, just thoroughly, so you can be happy with the decision that you're going to make, since it's going to affect you for a longer time.
For those who would still choose Highland, I would recommend do not bring your furniture here. You can find everything, and it's pretty accessible in terms of price and like moving it in. There's a lot of marketplaces where you can find everything that you need and for a cheaper price.
yeah, for sure. That's a really good point. Yes, you don't have to put a lot of money into buying furniture. But yeah, definitely do your research. They've added some links in the chat. I've added them on YouTube as well if you guys want to look at the off campus housing links that are provided. I also added a link for residential life if you're choosing to live on campus, all the rates and video links to a tour of the rooms are also in that link. So just go check it out if you have any questions at all in terms of where you might want to live.
Also,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, okay. Considering you're living off campus and you don't have a car to go to the, like to go for shopping and all that stuff to the grocery, the buses also run to the grocery stores like Walmart and all the places. downtown. So yeah, you can just take the bus and go to shopping. You know, in case if you come here, you are new, you don't have a car and all the stuff. So yeah, just what you need to have, like Bethel mentioned earlier, is your math card, and you know, then you'll be good.
A little bit off topic, but I wanted to add when it comes to groceries and everything. There's a food pantry at MMSU, which is in Crawford. So they have pretty much everything you need when it comes to basic groceries and necessities. So I'd pretty much say check that out before you budget on how you're gonna live off campus, especially because if you're out on campus, you have meal plan with you. So I don't think that would be pretty much like that much necessary. But if you're living off campus, I would say check in with the pantry as well because you can find pretty much anything you're gonna find at Walmart there.
Question: do students pay at the Maverick Food Pantry when they get food there?
No. No, it's completely free for MNSU students. Yeah.
It's basically
yeah.
like grocery shopping for free.
Yeah. Sorry for cutting you off. All you have to do is just book an appointment before you go there.
Yeah.
You
And
have
there's
to
a link in
reschedule.
the chat, so you can go there and check that out.
Mhm.
As you see, the campus provides a lot of resources around, and yeah, you can benefit from that.
Mhm.
Definitely. Thank you. All right. I'm just making sure we don't have any other questions in the chat about
Yeah.
housing. Again, if you guys do have any chats, you can place it in the Q&A cards when you're watching this so we can actually show the question on the screen for our viewers. That way everyone can see what the question was. And for people that's on YouTube, that's totally fine too. We're just relaying that information to our presenters. Bethel, did you say you lived on campus and then you moved off campus?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
Yeah.
I was in McElroy for a semester, and then now I'm going to move into Highlands. So yeah, I've pretty much seen both worlds on how it is, just how it collectively works, and I would pretty much suggest and advise for a new student to be on campus for a semester or a year. Like it's definitely gonna help you a lot when it comes to just getting your way.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We don't seem to have any questions now, so we can move on to the next session. Um, so we're going to talk about the registered student organizations next. So I'll give you guys a minute to regroup, and then we can get started. So I'm just going to take you guys off.
All right, we're ready.
Perfect. I'm just going to hide us from the stage.
Sure. All right, hello. So this is Majd Amal. We're going to be talking about recognized student organization. So those are the organizations that are on campus that you guys can all join. So what is an RSO? It's a group of people who share similar interests. They are managed by different communities on campus as long as it is appropriate and respect diversity rules. The groups can be about anything. And when I say anything, I really do mean anything.
They can be super silly, like these ones we have. It's Adam Sandler's Club, it's Anime Club, and Maverick Lego Club. And they're much more than that.
Yep. So as much as they can be hilarious and fun, there are things that can actually help you be successful in your academics or in integrating into the Mankato community, such as the International Student Association, some feel-good clubs that are related to mental health. So if you're struggling, you feel like you have anxiety or depression, there are clubs specific to that. And then there are academic clubs. So let's say you're taking French classes, you can join the French club and kind of improve your French language. And it kind of goes, the same idea kind of goes with different types of classes around campus.
So we have an International Student Association, which is also an RSO that houses different cultural recognized students organizations such as Nepali Student Organization and much more. And this is something you could join and find on our website to make more friends. This is actually a good way to learn about, sorry, about different cultures, being engaged on campus, because there's a lot that RSOs do together, such as events or many like enhancements together. So you will also feel belongingness and feeling like you're at home because you will be surrounded with people you feel comfortable with. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, it'll keep you engaged on campus. And, even though you're an international student, it is still an opportunity for you to learn about other cultures as well. Um, Here are some pictures of our events. So we have the International Festival, where all the international student association come together into sharing their cultures. And then we have Signature Nights. Signature Nights is a specifically based event. So let's say the Indian Student Association want to throw an event, then it's going to be an Indian night or Nepali night or, Latino night. And then they're usually filled with food, dancing, fashion show, some cultural booths where they share information about their countries. It's just really fun. And so we do have an international festival once a year. And then we have cultural nights that kind of spread out throughout the year that you guys can go to or be a part of. Intramural sports. If you guys are interested in sports, then there's something for you. This is not related to the Minnesota State University's official teams. Those are teams that you guys can either be a part of or you can create yourself. So intramurals is kind of like it's a little bit separated from the official sports, but they do have their own competitions, their own games, friendly or competitive. And then you can either be part of one of the teams, because we do have a lot of teams and we do have all kinds of sports like crickets. And then if you feel like you have your own people, you have your own friends that you want to create a team with, then you certainly can, and they will add you onto those tournaments and competitions. So that's kind of how intramural works, and everybody is welcome to join intramural sports.
So now, do we have any questions?
PJ, do we have any questions on YouTube? Or
Hey,
PJ has a question.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I know that both of you guys are pretty involved with registered student organizations. Could you tell us more about what you're involved with or what you've been involved with and how that has changed you
Sure.
as a student here at MNSU?
I'll go first and then you go? Yeah. Okay. So last year I was president of the International Student Association. It is a great community. It really is, because as much as you try to help students feel at home, you end up feeling at home as well. I learned so much. I learned so much about different cultures, about different people. What's nice about the International Student Association is that every single member is from a different country. And so it just creates this community that is just so nice to see. And it definitely did change me, because, I kind of became a better person. There's things that I miss from back home that you can't really find outside of Mankato, but you can find here on campus just by being around these people.
And for me, last year, I participated a lot in student government as a senator of College of Humanities and Social Sciences. And this was really fun because we are the ones who get to talk to students and see how they feel about campus, how they feel about their studies. Is there any problem they want to resolve? And we are the ones who bring that to administration and trying to make every student feel very welcome and comfortable on campus.
Do you
And-
want to kind of explain to us what student government is?
Yeah, that's kind of like the voice between students and administration, and we try to collect student voices and make it stronger so that everyone hears what we want and how to make our life more comfortable and our life easier. So for me, it really changed me in the way that now I pay attention to every comment students makes to me so I can take a note and bring that up if there is a right time.
Do you feel like you made a change?
I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
And this is available. Anyone can join in. So those are based on a voting process. So you sign up to be a candidate, and then there's elections. There's a debate. You gotta present yourself to students, and so then those students are the ones that vote for you, so that you can be in that position. But who can be a candidate? Anyone can be a candidate. PJ, do we have any other questions? Maybe YouTube?
I didn't know we had an Adam Sandler club, and now I have to join it.
They are very active. Until today,
Yes,
they were very active.
I like to call my outfits Adam Sandler outfits because I'm heavily inspired by Adam Sandler and how he dresses. Like, I wish I could show my outfit today, but I thought about it and I was like, I'm gonna go with Adam Sandler today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
beautiful.
funny because during the Adam Sandler club meetings, they all dress like Adam Sandler.
I'm joining. I know what to do this fall. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many registered student organizations on campus. It's also a great way to connect, like you've already mentioned, like with the community and make new friends. But yeah, I was just thinking about the RSOs that I was involved with. I know I did student ambassadors. They're also a really good organization. And then obviously at the time, I was also part of like Maverick Global Ambassadors, which wasn't an RSO, but it was kind of a volunteer based at the time. Just checking. Okay, there is a question on YouTube. The question is, are there any organizations for programmers?
Of course. Of course. And so it's nice. I mean, I'm telling you, there's really an organization about anything and everything. But let's say you really do end up picking that random topic that nobody actually did open an organization for, then you can go ahead and open that organization. As I said, as long as it's not racist, discrimination, there's no discrimination, and it's appropriate, the university will allow you to have that organization opened up. And so once you scroll through all the organizations and you don't find one that you belong to and you have enough students that are also interested in the same topic, then you can go ahead and definitely start that organization on your own.
I'm going to add the other MGAs back on screen just in case they do have some questions, and then we can move on from there. So let me get Olivia back on stage. All right, Olivia, you're on.
All right. Can you see us, hear us? We're back. All right. I have a question. So let's say you're picking a major or like you're not sure about a major. Could you like pop into a club and kind of see if like there's like when I was an undergrad, I was a history major and I did history club and we had people come in and kind of see what it was about. Is that a kind of a good way to see what a department kind of looks like? Do you think?
100%. 100%. That's a really good question, because that's kind of what my experience with French was. I wanted to see if I wanted to become a teaching assistant for the French classes, but I didn't know how their French classes kind of processed. So I joined the French club, and I went there to like ask questions about their classes and how things were going. And what's nice about these clubs, they are open to all students. So even if it's like a Nepali club per se, not only Nepalis are allowed to join those clubs. Anyone is welcome to join the club. But whoever leads that club is probably best to be. So, for example, if it's a French club, then it probably would make sense if the president of the French club it actually speaks French, just like the president of the Nepali Association is Nepali. Then who can join that club and who can be part of that club and part of the events and part of the meetings? Everyone is really welcome. To respond to your question, it is really helpful to join a club to kind of figure out what you're into. And it's not a contract based club. So if you want to leave at any point, then you sure can. It's really an open door kind of thing. So, join the history club, learn a little bit about history. And then if you think that, hey, that's my place, then yeah, I'll either start joining classes or I'll keep going to those meetings. If I think, oh, no, that's not really my place, then, I'm going to switch clubs. I'm going to go somewhere else.
Clubs are having meetings once a week or maybe once bi-weekly, and you can visit that and you can learn a lot from them because they pick up a topic and discuss it during their meet, just to have fun, to learn, and to make new friends. For example, I was in a psych club, and this is really big opportunity for students interested in psychology because they're discussing how you can come up with a research topic, how you can go and make the research done, how to publish that research. There's also a math club, and when I was struggling with math, I decided to join that for a couple of sessions, and they were actually having fun watching different hard exercises and like a very easy solutions that opened my eyes for some topics. So yeah, that's not just a good opportunity to learn about some majors, but also to have fun.
Yeah, I know when they did history club, a lot of times it's a good way to interact with the community as well, like community involvement, like the history club outsourced with the Holocaust Museum and like all of that stuff. So that's always a good way to interact with the community.
100%. Yep. And staying active is always better for you, honestly. Make connections, talk to your professors, talk to students. It's really going to help you on the long run.
I remember I took over a club because someone was graduating, and that was a great leadership opportunity for me because I really had to learn how to lead a club and how to prepare for meetings every month or every week, what kind of activities to do. It was a great opportunity to speak with people, to bring them in as board members of the club. So it's definitely a good leadership experience. And I learned a lot from that I take into my more professional life now, or my academics.
Yeah.
Are there any other MGAs that want to speak or say anything about any of the clubs that they're involved with? Any words of advice for our students watching? Yeah, Rohit, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was in the Student Association of India last semester. So I was a vice president. We conducted a lot of different events for the Indians, and also I'm part of MAVPAS. So MAVPAS is one of these programs where we teach these subjects which has high DFW rates, and we conduct different activities, and we have study sessions and also office hours where the students come visit us, and we have our own group. And this has helped the students gain some extra credit by attending these activities, and also the weekly sessions that we have. So that's something you would be able to do after you're here. And as I think everyone has mentioned already, every country has their own RSO, and you can join those, and also meet a lot of people from your own countries and also people from different countries, and feel much closer to home when you're here. So that's something you can do after you're here.
100%. Yeah, and it's fun, as much as you're learning, it's also very fun. Because there are game nights, there are events, dancing. You make new friends. It's just really fun.
Yeah, you can.
I would like to mention one thing too. So for the person who said organization for programmers, there's a club, let's say, that's called Dream. It is one of the biggest clubs we have. It was created by one of our professors, the computer science major professors. It could help students with a lot of stuff in this club. It has a lot of opportunities. A lot of people came up with this club and ended up with like good experience, good workplaces. So I would really suggest this club. And there's always like a time where you just go to a club, see how it works, and yeah, you don't have to join it to be able to be in this part of club. So yeah.
So I'm gonna talk about
Sorry, what did you say, Rohit?
I'm just gonna leave it.
Oh, yeah. I was just curious if someone talked about esports or anything. Like, I know there are, for gamers, there is a place you guys can go join other gamers if you play video games and want a place to go and play video games on campus. There's esports, but there are really good computers. Like, maybe if you can't afford your own computer, you can go play games over there. And if you're really good at the games, you can also compete. And I do know that you get paid for playing in the thing if you're a part of the team. So if that's something you're interested in, you can also check that out when you guys are here. So, and also we have Dungeons and Dragon Club or different card games, clubs for different card games. There are so many things going on. Like, I'm pretty sure we don't know about all the things, but you might be able to check after you're here.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about 200 plus student organizations.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really hard to compile them all into one. But obviously, as you can like hear from what we're saying, there's so many different categories. So academic, sports, esports, more recreational, and some
Adam
just
Sandler.
about Adam Sandler.
Yeah. I know. I thought
I
of you
can't stop
when I
thinking
heard
about
that.
the Adam Sandler Club now, and it's like I need to look at it when we're done. I need to
Yeah,
go.
typically their meetings involve watching Adam Sandler movies.
I love that for me. What a great day. So I feel like we don't really have any other questions about registered student organizations. I do see that there are some questions on YouTube that are not pertaining to this topic, but we will get back to them later when we're talking about more of those stuff. So I'm going to keep those comments on hold for now. And we can switch over to our next presenters. I think now we're going to talk about borders and customs and border patrol in just a minute. So I will let Alyssa.
Hey.
Hello. I will let you
All right.
take a seat.
It smells like coffee in here. No, I was sorry. This is bright and early here. All right. I am going to hide some of our other presenters at the moment so that your full attention is on me. All right. Good morning, or probably most likely afternoon by all of you, or perhaps even evening. My name is Alyssa Morrison, and I am the Assistant Director for Strategic Communication and Recruitment, which means most of our communications that you're getting are from me. Today, we're going to talk about some pretty important updates on entering the country. We do have a travel webinar from a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. So definitely look back on YouTube to review the information on there because that is a full hour. But we are going to talk about the basics from the time you get on your plane to the time you get to Mankato and the things that you need to consider. So the first thing, when you are traveling to Mankato, be sure that all of your forms, documents that you may potentially need to show anyone at immigration or even upon arrival are printed out and in your carry-on baggage. So do not tuck that into your checked baggage. You need to have your most important documents in your carry-on. So that would include your passport, of course. You're not getting anywhere without your passport. But other things that you that you definitely need printed out for when you arrive in the US are your I-20. It needs to be printed and signed by someone here at the Kearney International Center, but you also need to sign your I-20. Your I-20 is not valid until it has your signature on it. If you are under 16 years of age, you do need to have your parents sign that I-20 as well. So passport, I-20, and then also print out your admission letter and be sure that that is with you. You want to be able to prove that you have admission. Even if your I-20 says it, the admission letter does have other information in that you may need at the time of entering the country. I also always find that it is much better to be over-prepared rather than under-prepared. So I do recommend that if you have a rent contract, a lease, that you maybe bring that information with you and you're ready to show that. If you're living in the dorms, that information is also important. So any other information, maybe from your sponsor, about your program, any of that, just print it off. Keep a little folder in your carry-on so that when you get to the airport, it's all there in your carry-on. And then when you get to the US, again, you just pull it out of your bag and it's ready. So when you enter the US, you're going to come into the United States. And when you get off of the plane, you will immediately go through passport control. Typically, there are no restrooms before passport control, but sometimes there are. So if you see them, definitely do that before you get in line and then go through the line. Otherwise, typically at baggage claim. But I'm telling you this because I have gotten stuck in a passport line and thought about, oh my gosh, where is the nearest bathroom and what will I do? So keep your eyes open. You'll get off the plane. Like I said, you're going to go to passport control. At passport control, you will actually be given either a paper form that you need to fill out, or depending on where you enter the country, there may be a kiosk, an electronic kiosk that you need to go to and answer certain questions. The questions that are going to be asked on those forms, whether it's a paper or a digital form, is where are you going? Why are you here? And then are you entering with any items? So do not bring any fresh fruits or vegetables. I know sometimes grandma loves to throw in a peach because you're definitely not going to get a peach that tastes like home here in Minnesota, but that peach could actually cause you a lot of issues when you are crossing the borders. So make sure that any food you are packing and bringing with you is processed and packaged. So no meat, no open grains or seeds, no fresh foods, baked goods, anything like that. Be sure to do that. They will ask if you are carrying anything like that when you enter the country, and you do need to declare if you are carrying anything like fresh fruits or vegetables. I highly recommend just not carrying any of that. You are going to have to declare as well if you're bringing over $10,000 in US currency or any currency. And they do actually have dogs that are going to be looking for things like that. Anything on those custom forms, whether they, again, are paper or digital, are legal documents. And if you lie on those documents and the customs officer thinks that you are lying, you may run into trouble. And if they find you are lying, they may either refuse to let you enter or they're going to give you a very large fine to pay. So bringing any sorts of foods into the US that you have not declared is usually a fine of anywhere from $500 to $1,000. So don't do that. When you are done filling out that form, whether it's paper or digital at a kiosk, you are then actually going to go see a passport control agent. Those are our customs officers. The customs officer is going to need your Form I-20 and your passport. Most likely, they are going to ask you basic questions, and you should answer those truthfully and to the best of your ability. Usually, those questions are going to be easy. The number one question they'll probably ask you is, why are you coming to the United States? To which your answer should be, I'm here to study, because you are coming as a student. So always, I'm here to study should be your answer. Where are you going? So be sure that you know our university's name, Minnesota State University, Mankato in Mankato, Minnesota. They may ask you how long you're studying. Usually they're just asking you basic questions at the passport control to make sure that information on your I-20 and that you are telling them is matching what they can see in the system. So in their system at that passport control station, they really can only see your name if you have a CVIS ID and a visa. So if any of those things are not matching up, it may mean that they ask you to go to secondary questioning, but you do not necessarily need to worry about that. Usually they're truly just trying to find out additional information. But whatever you do when you get to that kiosk with the passport control officer, answer their questions, be concise, don't start any arguments, or if they're asking follow-up questions, just answer to the best of your ability. So you fill out your customs form, you go get your passport stamped. If they have any further questions about your entry into the US, they may send you to what is called secondary questioning. Secondary questioning sounds very scary, but in fact, it doesn't have to be. At secondary questioning, they may ask you questions as simple as, can I see your I-20 because your information isn't matching what's in the system and we need to confirm. They may also be double checking anything that you've told them. So they can technically look through your phones. They can check and ask you questions about different things. So this is why I'm always saying, be completely honest. You do not need to give them your life story, but if they ask you a question, be honest, because if they find out otherwise, it could lead to further issues. If you get to secondary questioning and you are finding that you can't answer all of the questions that the officer is asking, maybe there's questions about your program start date or your program, any of those areas, you can call our on-call phone and they will get you in touch with an immigration advisor to help you out. So once you go through passport control and secondary questioning, if you end up having to go through secondary questioning, you will then go collect your bags. Things to remember when you're collecting your bags that are sometimes a little strange for those that are not used to US airports. You are going to see many dogs around. These dogs, you should not interact with them. Do not pet them. Do not comment on them. Do not run up to them or anything. These dogs are trained to search out items that should not be going through customs undeclared. So they're going to be sniffing for foods. They will be sniffing for currency. They will be sniffing for drugs, but they will not be sniffing you. They will not approach you, and they are so well trained that honestly, they probably will not even look at you. I tell you this because many individuals are afraid of dogs, and when they come and see sometimes these very large security dogs, it can be frightening, but there's no need to fear. These dogs are controlled by their handlers. They are going to be, like I said, not even paying attention to you, and they are not violent in any way. So just, if you're afraid of them, just stand there calmly and let them walk past you, because if you don't have anything in your bags or your pockets, they're not even going to stop to see you. You are going to need to get your baggage. So do not leave your baggage in that customs area, because if you leave it there, it's abandoned. They will get rid of it. They're not going to send it forward to where you need to go. So be sure, even if you're late for your next flight, be sure you get your baggage and bring it out to get onto your next flight. So the final step of customs after you get your baggage is you do then have to go through the exit where another customs agent will be collecting the form that you were given from the passport control process. If they have any questions, they may pull you to the side. If the dogs have sniffed something in your bags, the customs agent controlling the dog may write a note on your form just saying, like, can you put this through the x-ray? So don't be surprised if you are maybe randomly selected or not randomly selected to put your baggage through the x-ray scan, just to confirm that you're not bringing anything into the US improperly. But once you go through that, again, if they ask you questions, answer honestly to the best of your ability. But you don't need to talk for 5 minutes. Just answer yes or no, or a quick answer. And most of the time, they're going to let you go from there. The customs process in the United States can be very quick, depending on when and where you fly in. Sometimes I have gotten through customs in as little as 10 minutes. More often, it takes much longer. And especially for students entering on their F1 visa for the first time, you should definitely plan at least 1 hour to get through customs. So that means if you're flying into maybe Chicago and you fly in at 8 a.m., do not have your connecting flight to Minneapolis leaving at 9 a.m. because there's no way you will make it. Make sure you have at least 3 hours in between any connecting flights, just in case you have delays. Maybe you're arriving at a time where there's a very large group coming in. If you're arriving through Chicago, Dallas, Atlanta, JFK, Seattle, LAX, Houston, those are some of the main hubs in the US, and they are definitely going to take you that full time to get through. So that's what I have about customs and getting through that. My main advice is answer questions honestly. I've said it about 10 times. Follow the directions of the custom agents. If they send you to secondary questioning, do not panic. It could literally be just to confirm your CVIS ID. So do not panic if they're sending you to secondary questioning. Stay calm, and most likely everything will be fine. And yeah, once you get to Minneapolis, St. Paul Airport, you'll get on the shuttle to come down here. I believe our MGAs will speak to that a little bit more later. So with that, are there any questions about entering or exiting through customs? I'm not seeing any, so that's good. All right, a couple of other things then that I will touch on before we move on. The first one I want to talk about is placement testing. So if you have gotten a visa and you have not submitted an SAT score or TOEFL score, you will most likely be getting a voucher for your placement testing. If for some reason you're unable to use that voucher, maybe your Wi-Fi connection isn't good enough, maybe there is an online proctor and maybe for some reason that would kick you off the test, that's fine. We say try your best to take the test before you come because you will typically score better and it's just less stressful. But if you really can't get it to work or you just don't have a good enough internet connection, you can take it while you are here on campus. I do recommend arriving for sure on Monday if you need to take the placement test so that you have some more time to schedule and take that test. What was the other question that I was going to answer?
I think we just have.
Sorry, everyone. There's a couple questions I need to address. And
There was the placement testing, and then
sit up, maybe. Oh, yes. Okay. There was a question about insurance payments. Someone had said, I made the payment and it doesn't seem to be coming off of my bill. I think specifically they say, I sent the insurance money and in my e-services, I can see the money, but I am not sure that you've already bought it. So sometimes you make the payment on your e-services, and if you do not select that you're making a prepayment for the health insurance or making a payment specifically towards the health insurance, it'll go to your general student account. In that case, we can get that all figured out once you are here, or you could email the cashier's office and simply say, I sent in this payment for my health insurance. My tech ID is, can you please confirm that the payment is being attributed to my insurance payment? But again, if you have to pay long distance or you have a really big time difference, we can help guide you through that process when you are here too. Yeah, I think that's all that I have. Any other questions? PJ's behind the camera, so if you're like, where in the world is this woman looking? I'm looking at PJ. They're behind the camera. All right. Well, I think you should all know that we are all so excited to welcome you next week. We have so many awesome things prepped and ready for you. The MGAs, even though they're tired and maybe don't seem super excited, they are. And actually, they have seemed pretty excited. They're pretty great. And they're always here and ready to help you out during orientation week. So with that, thank you. And I'm going to hand it back over to the expert, PJ.
I'm flattered. Thank you.
Yes, I only say the truth.
Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it. Alrighty. Okay. I am going to bring the other people on stage. Hello again. I hope you guys missed me. All right. So the next session that we're going to have is going to be traveling to Mankato, and Majd and Rohit are going to be the ones doing this one. So I'm going to bring them back on stage. And again, any questions you have, if you're on AirMeet, put it on the Q&A card, YouTube. Just go ahead and add it in the comments, and we'll try and get to them all.
Don't worry, PJ, I missed you.
Good. All right, I'm going to go off stage so you guys can take over. Give me a second here.
I'm going to share my screen.
Sound good.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I just had to shut the door really quick. All right, I am gonna head out.
Okay. Find this presentation. I guess I'll have to share my entire screen. We'll just do that for the sake of the presentation. All right. Rohit, can you still see me? Am I still on the screen?
Yeah, I can see you. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I can't see my camera, so
Okay. Yeah.
I can only see my presentation. All right, so we're going to be talking about traveling to Mankato. So Alyssa did cover some essential points, but we'll kind of talk about it in a little bit more detail. So the first thing to know, there is no airport in Mankato, or at least not an international airport, for you guys to travel right to from outside of the United States. So when you book your flight, you do want to book your flight to Minneapolis St. Paul Airport. Once you get to the airport, you have to find a way to get to Mankato. The trip is approximately an hour and 20 minutes, a little bit less than an hour and 20 minutes. And the ways that you can come to Mankato, I'll let Rohit tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah, so one of the very first things I would say the cheapest option would be getting Land to Air Express. These are the buses or shuttles which run from the airport to Mankato. It costs around $15 to $40 depending on the season, because currently there are a lot of students coming to the university. The prices might be a bit high, so but they're generally around 15 to 40. But if you book early, you might be able to get a cheaper ticket. And then the other option is getting a Uber. Ubers are a bit more pricey. They cost around $150 to $200 just to from the airport till Mankato. So I know some of the students like to do that, but then it's a lot more pricier compared to the buses. So if by any chance if you're doing these things, one of the things I would like to suggest is please check with your apartments beforehand, that if you are able to get your keys and if you are able to get into your apartment or not. So like if you're coming late at night, you might not be able to get your keys when you come to your apartment, because the offices are generally open till 5 o'clock, which is like a office time. But if you come later at night, you might have to find hotels or anything. Mas, do you think I missed any of the points over here? Uh, yes,
So as Mesh kind of works on that, I always recommend that students take land to air because it's the cheapest option and it picks you up directly from the airport and brings you to Mankato. That's always the best choice. If you're going to take Uber or Lyft, again, it's very, very, very expensive. And I usually advise against that. If you get to the airport really late and there's no land to air available, I usually just recommend that students get a hotel close by, because most of the hotels have a shuttle and they'll pick you up from the airport and then they'll drop you off at the airport the next day so that you can take land to air to Mankato. Because again, it's a lot cheaper for you and it brings you to campus. So I honestly recommend doing that. Hi, Majd.
okay.
Or I'm gonna hide the page, the other one. All right, you guys can continue.
13th. Yeah, no, you have to share the whole screen. That's fine. Where's the game?
Yeah. Here, I can show you how to save it.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
Here, excuse me. My name is my technical difficulty.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you guys while you guys work on that, and I'll kind of speak some more about traveling. If you get to Mankato really late and you don't have a place to stay and the apartment that you moved to, the office is closed, we do have hotels close by that you can absolutely go to. I'm going to add the links in the chat for you right now. Hotels. There's one very, very close to the campus as well, but I'm just going to send you guys a link.
When you're done, can you charge my laptop over there, because the last session is going to be the other MGAs.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll run over.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Continue. Please.
I'm going to mute you guys.
And then
So I'm going to add the link here on the screen.
so the link that I added, I don't know if you guys checked it out. So the link that I sent you is a very short video on our YouTube that explains to you where you can find the land to air shuttle. So I know that no, it's in the team. It's in the chat here.
Okay, cool. So we got the presentation.
Perfect. All right, here. I am gonna.
So yeah. So I know PJ, you were talking about the hotels, right? If you. Yeah. So one of the very first things, if you come to Mankato and you're quite late. So yeah, if you're quite late coming to Mankato and if you need a place to stay and if you're not able to get into your apartments, there are a lot of different options and different hotels within Mankato that you can move to. Max will share some of the options that we have. So Max, you can go ahead. Talk about it.
Okay, so other than American Inn, the good thing about American Inn is the closest one to campus. But we do have Hilton Hotel, we have Marriott Hotel. They're kind of spread out around Mankato. We even have a River Hills Hotel, which is the hotel by the mall.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a mall in Mankato that you guys can go to, buy some stuff. And so then you can just kind of stay in the hotel nearby it.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with American Inn, have you talked about the prices a little bit?
I can tell about the prices. So American costs around $80 to $100 per night. So one of the things you would like to keep in mind is if you know that you're going to be late, so I would suggest email your apartment beforehand, just so that you know if you're able to get your keys or not. Or if you haven't figured out your housing, you can come stay here, but try to book as soon as possible because there are a lot of new students coming in. So as American is quite close to the campus, I know that the students would be booking these places beforehand. So I would suggest try to book as soon as possible. So that's something you might want to be doing. There are other hotels which are a bit away from the campus, not too far. I would say within 1 or 2 miles. They would cost you around the same price, let's say $10-20 difference, so around $120 a night or something. So we do have a link for some of the hotels within Mankato. So we're gonna share that in the chat right now.
And if you already know that you're going to be late to come to Mankato, in which case you would need to stay in a hotel, I would advise you to book your hotel as soon as possible, especially since next week is orientation week. A lot of students are moving in, moving out. And so the hotel rooms, as cheap as they can be compared to other hotels, they do book very fast. And so I added a link in the chat that you guys can use to see the hotels that are available in Mankato.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that you can do, so we're suggesting hotels in case you arrive late and can't get the keys to your apartment or to your dorm. Another thing that you may want to consider is staying the night in Minneapolis. So let's say you do arrive late. You can book a hotel up in the city, so in Minneapolis. And then a lot of these hotels do have shuttles that can take you to the airport or from the airport to your hotel if it's in Minneapolis, and then you can eventually take land to air to come to Mankato. Um, you can book an Uber, but it is really going to cost you a lot of money. The prices vary between $100 to $250, so it's really expensive to book an hour drive to Mankato.
Mm-hmm.
And if you also know some people in Mankato, you might want to consider asking them for a ride.
Yeah. So on top of this, I would like to add in the chat, I've also added a link which you can click to find hotels within Minneapolis close to the airport. So these hotels have shuttles which take you from the airport to the hotel and bring you back to the airport. And from the airport, you can get land to Air Express so that you can come to Mankato. This is in case if your flight lands late at night and you don't know where to go. So these are some of the options that you would have. And as there is a shuttle from the airport to your hotel, you don't have to worry about your travel from the hotel and back to the airport. So they'll take your luggage and they will drop you off at the location where you're supposed to be going. So that's something you can do. So click on the link if you would like to look at any of those options. So do you think uh, we have? Is there
Yeah,
anything
right.
else you would like to
Yeah,
add,
I think it's really important to consider knowing where you're going to stay before you even take your trip to Minneapolis. Know what time are you going to land, what are you going to do, where are you going to go, and then just figure out where you're going to sleep the night. Even though you have a dorm, even though you've already rented an apartment, just make sure when's the latest that you can get your keys, so that you don't end up coming to Minneapolis or Mankato not knowing where to stay the night. During orientation week, and it's already started this week as well, we have an on-call line.
Mm-hmm.
So I would save this number. The on-call line can respond to any questions that you have once you arrive to Minneapolis. But if you need help moving around, if you need help in person, this line is going to help you once you are in Mankato. And so you guys can call this number if you have any questions, you have any concerns, you're stressed about something, or you just need help, for example, coming from campus and go to the supermarket. But this,
Mm-hmm.
if you do need a ride, this is only available if you're in Mankato.
Yeah. So, what time are we generally open this number? Like, do you know which times they can call on this number? Or
At least 8 to 5,
mm-hmm.
but I think it's
So
gonna go.
I can
Yeah.
actually check the correct time. So okay. So we are open 8 till 10 at night. So if you're here from morning 8 to 10, anytime if you call this number, if you need anything, uh, we can come help you out during the orientation week, or if you're already here. So just call this number and we'll do our best to try help you out. And yeah, uh, I think these are.
Yeah,
So
I would really
yeah,
save this number if you
yeah.
can. I'll also type it in the chat if you guys want to copy paste it. So there will be a van available in Mankato, so that if you guys need a ride within Mankato, you guys can call this number.
Mhm. So yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Too. I think we covered all the topics that we wanted to talk about. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, do put that in the chat or Q&A so that we can answer them. So yeah, go ahead.
And Alyssa covered this a little bit, but in your backpack, make sure you do have your I-20, obviously your passport, your I-94, CVS records. It would be also good to have a bank statement. You never know who's going to ask what, so it's better to be safe. And then just don't overpack as much as you're going to want a lot of things from back home. It's going to be easier to just bring as less things as you can, and then just buy them here once you arrive.
Yeah, and yeah, also I know that some of the people will be like, yeah, it's cold here, we're gonna bring winter clothes. But honestly, it's cheaper to buy winter clothes over here than bringing it from home. Try to save space for other things which you can't get here. Maybe some spices which you can't find over here, or uh, yeah, anything which brings you back to your home. Yeah, PJ.
I just wanted to point out that do not call this number if you're at the airport and you want someone to come pick you up at the
Yeah.
airport.
Mhm.
I feel like the MG's already talked about it, but I just
Mhm.
feel a need to reiterate that they will not come pick you up from the airport in Minneapolis.
Mhm.
This is
So
just
this
within
number,
Mankato. So if you need to get from the school to maybe your apartment or something like that within Mankato. But if you call them and say, "Hey, I'm stuck at the airport, come get me," they will not come get you.
exactly.
So I just want to make sure that's clear. Um,
Yeah.
sorry, continue. I just felt like I
No,
had.
yeah. I mean, yeah, as PJ said, exactly. So, when this number, please call it only when you're in Mankato. Thanks for telling that again, PJ. So, yeah, I think that was about her presentation. Like, if any of them have any questions, we can answer those. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think we can open the Q&A.
Yeah. And if I can add one more thing about the number two, it's going to be one person in charge of it at a time, which means that if we don't answer right away, it just means that we're helping some other student and we'll get back to you. And if you're in Mankato and you need a ride, there's going to be like a list. So it's depending on who called first, and then we're just going to do that in order. So just in case you don't get the fast service that you might be expecting, this is kind of why, because we're going to have one person in charge at a time. And if there's an emergency, you call 911.
Mm.
Okay. Within the airport, if you need to get to the shuttle and you can't find the shuttle, it's okay to ask for help. There are going to be help desks around. And I know that the MGA's probably already talked about it as well.
Yep, there's a video up there that they can.
Yep, perfect.
So I'm
So
gonna.
watch the video.
So in the link, I sent you a link of the video, so you can have a look. I think. Oh wait, sorry,
It is
my
a
bad.
Teams link, huh?
Okay, my bad. I think that's not the link. Okay, I'm sending
Yeah,
you
it's a
a
Teams
different
link.
link.
So
Yeah. So yeah, here, there's the YouTube link. So this would be the link you would like to click on.
perfect.
So this talks about how you can get to the shuttle. So watch this video if you're kind of confused how you can get to the shuttle. This video will get you there. So
Okay. I don't think there's any other questions that I see. Unless any of the MJs want to add something. Otherwise, I think we can probably move on to our next session. Rohit, do you
there
have
is a
something to say?
yeah. I was saying there is. It seems like there is a
Oh, yeah.
question
I just
on
see a
YouTube.
question.
Yeah. So Mike, as a okay with the Stadium Heights apartment, how, when, and where can I get the key to enter the apartment? Okay, Mike. So one thing I would like to suggest is please email your apartments beforehand to check what time they are open and how you can get your keys. And if if you already know someone here, they might also be able to pick up the keys for you if you email the apartment and let them know that someone else will come pick up the keys for you. So this is something you would have to email your apartments and talk to them and communicate with them so that you can kind of figure out about the keys. Yeah, PJ.
So when I moved to my new apartment, I had to move in really late. So it was like 8 at night. So I did contact, like Rohit said, I did contact my apartment, let them know in advance that I'm moving in late. And they just said that I just could call the security number that's on our website. So I just went to the new place and I called security for the thing. That's what they did. And then the security brought the keys to me where I was. So depending on which apartment it is, they'll probably be able to arrange a time for you to come pick it up, especially if you're traveling internationally. However, you do have to make sure you connect with them in advance and let them know in advance so you guys can come up with a solution and you're not stranded and have to get a hotel or something. So that is a great question, but just prepare in advance, Mike, and just let them know. They'll probably be able to just send security or someone to give you the keys.
Yeah. So, worst case scenario, if you're not able to pick up the keys, and if you're not, someone else is not able to get the keys, and you're not here on time, book a hotel room. It's fine to stay one day in a hotel. So try to book any of the hotels which are able to find. So like there is a link in the chat. You can kind of see all the hotels that are available. So try to book those, and maybe you can stay over there for the night, and then in the next day or whenever, as soon as the keys are available, you can get into your apartment then. So that's something you might want to do.
Just to keep something in mind, most offices, or at least the apartments here, they're open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So 9 to 5, these are the open hours. So you might want to work accordingly.
Yeah.
There could be a little exceptions because, kind of a similar story to PJ's. I did come in, I was arriving in Mankato at like 5:30. So I did ask the apartment, what can I do? They're like, okay, we'll just wait for you. As long as you're not too late from that, then we'll wait for you. But obviously past 5:30, no one's going to wait. So it's really going to depend on that. And I like Rohit's idea about if you know someone here, you can talk to your apartment about giving them the key, and then you can just have it once you arrive. But just keep in mind, 9 to 5, that's usually when the offices are open, including ours. And so you can just base your timing and bookings based on that.
Yeah. Also, if someone else is picking your keys, they can't just go and take the keys. You need to let your apartment office know that in an email that someone else is going to come pick it up. Have to mention their name. So that's something you would have to do, and you need to ask them if it's actually allowed to do that or not. So that's something you would have to communicate. And if you're planning to do that, I would say send them an email right away. This would be the best time to send an email. So yeah. Mm, Any other questions? If you guys have any other questions, or yeah, PJ, do you think we can add anything to this?
No, I think you guys shared all the important details. So I think given that we don't have any more questions, hopefully this answered your question, Mike. We can probably move on to our final session. And it's going to be on summer and winter essentials that we recommend bringing to when you come here. So I will let them take over. I'm assuming we're going to stay in the same office, right, with Rohit and Olivia? Yeah, okay. Bye, Majd. Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
All right. I'm.
Can you hear me?
Good work, Olivia.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
We're back.
Hello.
I think we can talk.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Okay, great.
Do you want to go ahead and start off our presentation?
Okay.
Perfect.
So for summer, um, I so summer essentials. You can see that I wrote summer clothing, hats and sandals too. But I would say all of these are considered to be one of the summer essentials. I mean, summer clothing, let's say. Now, a lot of people expect Mankato to be way too cold, so even if in summer they might think it's cold, But honestly, in the summer it's hot, and the winter doesn't come until like maybe November. So try to just pack like for now, just try to pack like summer clothing because I think you'll always have time to get winter clothing. Now, if you have winter clothing, you can pack it. But as my coworker said, don't overpack a lot of stuff. So for now, since it's summer, just try to pack mostly summer. Sunscreen. Now you can, as I said, also you can also get this from here, but it's always good to have like one sunscreen in your bag. I mean, the sun affects your skin, so sunscreen is one of the important things to have. Bug spray. There's a lot of bugs in Mankato, and I think everywhere there's a lot of bugs. So bug spray is something so good because there's a lot of people who are sensitive, have sensitive skin. So like a tiny bug bite would affect like their skin or would give them rashes or something. So it is good to have like a spray or gel that helps with that. Um, but as I said, also you can always buy them from here. Winter. So I would just go back to my friends and see if they have any summer essentials that I didn't add.
Yeah, when it comes to summer essentials and like summer clothing, it actually like when it comes to just like essentials, like depending on the weather, it depends on which semester that you're coming into. Some students come in the spring, some students come in the fall. So when it comes to fall, obviously we have to go to the summer essentials part, and Marwa has mentioned almost every one of them. But it actually depends on how you are, when it comes to your outfits. If you're not like a hats person, I would prefer glasses. If you're like if you're not like a sandals person, I'll prefer just like Crocs. Anything that's like comfortable to you and what you would wear like on everyday basis. And sunscreen and bug spray, yeah, like I would definitely recommend that. I think we can pass by to the winter clothing if you have anything to
Okay.
add, Jared and Rahima.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the clothing path. I know you've already mentioned it. Like, okay. So, all right. You can go to the next.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, the winter essential stuff. Yeah, like it says here, you need coats, sweaters. Simply, you need a warm clothes that will keep you warm. You need clothes, like I said, gloves like that will just cover your hands, and good blankets because it's gonna get very cold here. Super super cold, like extreme cold that you may not have experienced before. Like where I've come from, this nothing like this cold when I came here. So you will need a snow boots too. Like this consists of different types. You will need like wool shoes. Some will have some will have leathers. But all these are recommended during winter. So also, like maybe if you're not coming with a lot of clothes and you're coming from your country, they're not like heavy coats. You can do layering. So it's we have this thing we call layering. It's like putting on clothes on each other,
On
like
top.
on top of each other. So it's like it's gonna help a lot. So I want to talk about the shoes because during winter it's gonna get very cold and slippery on the ground. So not every shoes you're gonna wear because you're gonna fall a lot. Because when the snow dried, it's gonna get super slippery. So you need a shoes that is having some tooths and it's like under it, so like wool shoes or leather. So that is really gonna be essential or helpful during the winter. I know my friends can add some to this.
Yeah. So Minnesota is a state where it gets pretty cold, and as they say, clothing is really important. You need warm clothes, and particularly you need boots sometimes because it gets really cold, and you don't want to have bad surprise when you take off your shoes. So make sure to bring warm shoes. And depending on the semester, for example, if you come for the fall semester, it's we're just coming out summer, so it's gonna be pretty warm, still pretty warm. So I would maybe advise if you're coming for the fall to come with your normal clothes and maybe buy coats and winter clothes when you're here. But if you're coming for the spring, it's gonna be important for you to bring at least one coat or some of these summer essentials materials because in the spring the spring semester is already pretty cold. And yeah, before coming here, I thought that when people say that it's really cold in Minnesota, they were joking, but actually they're not. It's really cold, and if you're not used to the cold, the winter, you should bring at least one of all those winter essentials um, and buy some other stuff here. So yeah.
Yeah, about like summer and like winter essential clothing. When it comes to winter like clothing, guys, please make sure to bring at least one non-slippery shoe when it comes to ice, because I've had my fair shares of falls like flat on my face in the snow. So this is definitely not something that I would recommend to anybody else. So please make sure that you bring at least one non-slippery shoe for the like walking in the snow. And depending on the semester that you come, it's better to just like pack what you need for the season and then just like buy what you need for the spring or the fall semester, just like contra wise once the season gets closer and closer. Yeah. Is there any questions that you guys
Yeah, I would like to add something. When I wrote boots, I think like you should get snow boots because as much as you think, oh, it's just a snow, I'm gonna be good. Sometimes it's not only snowy, it's icy. So when it's icy, you're easily able to slide or something. So and this could be bad. Like what if you fall in some place that is so bad or watery? So it's not only snow, it's icy, watery. So make sure that you have at least something good. Also, as I said, like it's gonna snow in the winter, maybe I mean November. So you always have time to buy these stuff. But if you already have stuff in your home country, that at least one blanket, like small tiny blankets, um, boots, like small tiny boots, that will also help. But for now, as I said, it's summer, so yeah, maybe
Yeah,
a
like
blanket would
Ibrahima
be
said
enough.
earlier, it is going to get really icy out. And so you want to make sure that you have good quality boots with the winter, like fur and soles. I know that Ibrahima was mentioning it earlier, and he's exactly right. You want to get the right kind of shoes. You want to make sure you don't fall and hurt yourself because it can get really snowy and yucky outside. But you guys are coming at a time where it's not that cold yet. There's no snow. And so you can bring in like a good jacket, but if you wish to, you can again purchase all of them when you're here. The school bus that they all mentioned earlier, does take you to the mall. So you can take the bus to the mall and get good boots if you don't have the boots yet, or you can get the coats. Another thing is beanies, gloves, because you don't want frostbite on your ears. So making sure you have like a good hat, winter hat, or a good beanie that keeps your ears warm and covered. Making sure you have gloves so your fingers don't get frostbite, especially if you're walking from your apartment to the school. Uh, I think those are the biggest things that you probably want. If the smaller things, if you don't want to bring a coat and stuff, just maybe bringing like a good pair of gloves and beanies. But again, you can always purchase them here. Do you guys have anything else that you guys probably want to add?
Um, yeah, I do. In addition to the frostbite, like PJ mentioned, I know some of you might not know what frostbite is because of like the unfamiliar weather. I did not know frostbite before I came here actually because we don't have frostbite there. So it's like it's gonna get cold to an extent that it's gonna harm your or hurt your skin, like if you're exposed to your skin. So you're gonna make sure that all your body's covered, like all of us mentioned already. So yeah, to avoid that, it's super painful, that stuff. Like even the cold without getting frostbite is painful. Talk less of if you get frostbite. So you wanna make sure you avoid that.
Yeah, and since you guys are coming in the better weather rather than the spring.
Is there anyone here that came during winter?
Uh,
What?
what semester did you come here, Madhu?
Oh,
Did you come here last semester?
I came here last semester, so it was pretty snowy
Mm-hmm.
and icy, and it was bad. I
So,
mean, coming from a country that is so sunny, it was kind of bad. But yeah, I got used to it.
so when you were here the first few weeks, I know it was snowing during your
Yeah.
orientation. So, how did you kind of cope up with that? Did you bring winter clothes? Did you have snow boots and stuff on you?
So that's my problem. As I said, you need to bring snow boots, and
Don't tell me I lost connection.
Okay, I'm back.
Let's see.
Hello, we lost connection.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we're back now. Any questions that
Did
you
we all
guys
lose
wanna
connection?
ask us? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because they're not moving.
Oh,
Oh, that's the
does
room.
somebody want to check what's going on with Olivia's?
Oh, you're back here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Any questions that you guys want to give us till we kind of fix this little mishap right now?
Where's your
Mm.
presentation?
I think it's with Mela. She got disconnected.
Could you guys confirm if we're still alive?
Yeah.
Especially when you will.
That's the
And
computer.
Do you want to check what's going on with Olivia's computer? With Marwa? Because she's the one who asked me. You're me.
I'm gonna.
Are you still doing the presentation? I think we're almost done.
I'm gonna hide mesh questions. Sorry, technical difficulties.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Have you back?
We're still waiting on questions. If you guys have
Yeah.
any to throw at us, feel free.
So,
I saw a question on YouTube. I don't know if we got disconnected or not earlier, but the question was about moving in before. Could you clarify that question for us? It's on YouTube. It says, "How does first day before resumption feel like?" If someone could clarify that, that'd be great.
yes.
Till then, do you want to answer the question on top of that, Ibrahima?
This is the question.
I can read the top question for you if you like.
I think this,
The keys
Yeah.
one? Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
this have been answered, right? No?
That one has been answered.
It has? Okay.
It's the second one after that I'm just a bit confused about.
Okay, with Samsung, do you mean like before school resume? Um, wait, okay, we are live.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's just a little bit confusing. If you wanna,
Yeah, I will recommend reaching out to your RSOs and also make plans before you come. Actually, you know, school's gonna resume and classes are gonna start or orientation or whatever we have in plan. So that is not gonna affect where you live. Maybe you may not be able to come to your schedule so whatsoever, but it's still gonna continue. You know, you're just gonna figure out your stuff like your schedules, your apartment before you come here. Otherwise, you reach out to friends that you know here, RSOs, which I mentioned earlier, your student organization from your country. Um, they can be helpful, and also you can reach out to the KIC.
thank you for that answer, Ibrahima. Is there any other questions that you guys want to ask us?
Yeah, because now we're just opening our platform for Q&As for the last 10 minutes.
Yes.
I did want to ask, I guess we're all just going to scoot in. Hello. I think I do have a couple of questions for our MGAs. So let's, Rohit is probably going to come here soon.
Okay.
But some last minute questions, like if there is one advice you could give the students right now in one sentence before we click off, what would it be? Like one sentence before they get here. I'll give you guys like 30 seconds to think about it.
I'll probably say just relax. Like don't overthink it. Don't worry about what's gonna happen and everything. Everything's gonna fit in just fine. Like I promise. I know what doesn't sound like that right now. It's like you're probably overwhelmed, but everything will be just fine. Just relax.
My advice is gonna be read your emails, read your schedules, like try to get to know your schedules, including orientation, and plan ahead of the classes that you're gonna take. I guess that's enough.
My advice would be just to be yourself and be observant about everything that goes on around here. The connection is not good.
Wait,
here.
yeah, we're back.
Oh, we're back.
I just want to say that we're done.
Yeah, we're very excited to see you. I hope you guys can hear us and
Yeah.
see us
Oh
because
yeah,
here
should
we
we talk
can.
about the just tabling thing? Did we tell them we will be tabling this week? Just
I think we can send them.
okay, cool.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we're very excited to see you next week. Have a safe flight. Get here safe. Be responsible, but also have fun. We're here as resources at the KIC for you. So, if you need help, do not hesitate. These students, wonderful, beautiful students, are all here to help you guys. So, good luck. Have a safe flight, and it's gonna be fine if it's your safe flight. It's gonna be okay. I will see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
You want to end it, Bethel?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can you do end session?
Okay. Where? Oh,
Yeah,
on
right
top.
there.
Okay. Yep. Bye.
Hold on.